So, in Marvel Spider-Man 2, in the Upper West Side, there is a location that has caught people's attention. And maybe it's some kind of Daredevil Easter egg. Now, I definitely think it is a point of interest, and there is some Daredevil stuff I'm going to talk about, but I'm not entirely convinced. So let's get into that, and what I think might be going on instead. So what am I talking about? If you go to this location in the Upper West Side, you will find this point of interest, signposted by this pretty loud red flag. And there is certainly something going on in this location. It has a built-out interior, unlike the blocked building fronts and the parallax effects you can find elsewhere. Looking inside, you can see weapons on the wall and a symbol that shows up multiple times in the set dressing. Also, if you go to the other side of the building, you can actually enter that store and you can see that the two rooms are linked via a blocked path, with a bookcase and a blocked door, and with that same symbol again. So I definitely think it's something. And while I haven't finished the game at this point, so it may show up in a mission, I haven't seen anyone else mention that, so I don't think so. So I've seen people thinking, Daredevil Easter egg, and I get why. It does look like it could be a hideout for a criminal organisation with links to martial arts, hence the weapons on the wall and the general vibe. So you think of the hand, the chased, stuff like that. But here's why I'm not so sure. I don't recognise that symbol personally, so I tried finding anything similar, and in my brief search among the hand, the chase, the 10 rings, Kunlun and Iron Fist, I couldn't find the symbol. If this was as simple as just an Easter egg, then I don't know why that symbol wouldn't be more obvious. Why the flag would just be a blank red, and why they would need to be subtle. And so I think the reference would be clearer. However, speaking of Daredevil, that is worth talking about, because if you go to the site of Nelson and Murdoch, here in Hell's Kitchen, you will see it's closed down. The plaque is now blank, whereas you could see it in previous games. Josie's, the bar, is also closed, and in fact a lot of the buildings in this neighbourhood are. The notice on the window mentions the building being condemned and having to be closed down, and weirdly I did notice the logo of the organisation is fairly similar to the pattern on the shield, but that might just be a coincidence. But a developer was asked in an interview if Nelson Murdoch being closed had any significance, and his answer was a kind of cagey tease. So I definitely think we will be seeing something from Daredevil at some point. Okay, quick interjection from my future self. While editing this video, there has been an update. Like an update to the game, which has changed Nelson and Murdoch. It has now included the plaque, so that's back, but has also gotten rid of the notice. It's possible that this was actually the intention originally to be the change. I've also included in the B-roll some footage of that point of interest Easter egg location, but from the previous game, so Spider-Man Remastered, just to show how it has actually changed. Okay, now back to it, my past self. Whether that be DLC that involves Daredevil, hopefully in a significant capacity beyond just phone call voice lines, or maybe in future games like Wolverine. Though I think Spider-Man DLC makes more sense with the link with the characters in the comics and the New York link. And then there's the opposite end of the spectrum being a standalone Daredevil game, which I think would be too far. As interesting as that concept is to me, and as fantastic a job as Insomniac has been doing, I would worry about them being stretched too thin if Sony and Marvel try and put too much on their back. There are also a few other nods to the world of Daredevil. One, a greater push of magic being introduced, which plays a part in Daredevil's world. And one of Miles' friends from his college does get a Rand scholarship, as in Danny Rand, Iron Fist. So there are rumours of a Daredevil DLC as soon as December, which I initially thought was too soon. But then, looking back at the original Spider-Man on PS4, that was released in September, and the 3 episodes of The City That Never Sleeps were released in October, November and December, roughly a month apart. So it's actually very possible, and I'll expect an announcement on that soon. So, with that being said, and what I've seen so far, what do I think this place is? I think it is a placeholder for a location in a DLC or the remnants of a mission that may have been scrapped. It's built out as a place to investigate or have more enemies spawn from that shutter opening as you have a fight in the alleyway. Maybe a mixture of the two. That flag is very obvious, but it's also just a blank red, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's intended to be changed. Whereas the pride flag on the other end of the building is more similar to the general environment dressing around the city. It's also possible that that symbol doesn't actually mean anything, and again is an asset placeholder to be replaced when necessary. Maybe not to spoil future content. But I don't know. What do you think? And if you actually know what that symbol is, please let us know in the comments. But that's it for me today.
Slow walkers so much.